Sarah Ferguson's lonely and isolated life now as she's snubbed by friends and cut adrift. Welcome back, royals and loyal viewers, to Crown Chronicles, your home for the most intriguing, untold, and captivating stories inside the British royal family. Before we dive into this emotional and eye-opening episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join our growing community of royal watchers from around the world. Today's story is one you don't want to miss, because it peels back layers of glamour, scandal, loyalty, and heartbreak to reveal the truth behind Sarah Ferguson's lonely and isolated life after years of being pulled in and pushed out of the royal fold. Sarah Ferguson, affectionately known as Fergie, has always been a figure who captivated the world. With her fiery red hair, bubbly personality, and unapologetically candid nature, she once stormed onto the royal scene as Prince Andrew's fun-loving, spirited bride. For a moment, she seemed to be the breath of fresh air the royal family didn't know it needed. But time, as it often does within the House of Windsor, has a way of unveiling darker chapters, and today, her life reportedly looks far lonelier than many ever imagined. Sources close to the Duchess of York have spoken about how Fergie now feels snubbed by friends, cut adrift, and increasingly isolated from the social circles that once welcomed her with open arms. Yet how did a woman who once stood on palace balconies, attended glittering royal events, and captivated the press become someone whom people keep at arm's length? To understand her current loneliness, we have to journey back through decades of highs and lows, moments of triumph, humiliation, resilience, and reinvention. Because Sarah Ferguson's story isn't just about royalty. It's about a woman who has survived storms most people never see coming. After her separation and eventual divorce from Prince Andrew, Fergie's royal status shifted from center of attention to complicated outsider. And unlike Princess Diana, who, even divorced, maintained a close bond with the public, Fergie struggled to shake off the stain of scandal. The infamous toe-sucking photos, her financial missteps, and a series of business ventures that collapsed under scrutiny chipped away at her public standing. She wasn't just judged by the world, she was judged by the royals, a family not known for forgiving mistakes easily, but even after all that, Sarah never severed ties with Andrew. In fact, they remained unusually close, so close that for years they lived together at Royal Lodge, shared holidays, and co-parented their daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, with rare harmony. Their bond was often described as one of the most unconventional relationships in royal history, divorced, yet inseparable. This closeness became both her comfort and her cage. For a long time, the world saw Andrew as her protector, the one royal who still had her back. But when Andrew's reputation crumbled under the weight of his own scandal, Sarah's social world began collapsing again. Friends who once tolerated her royal connection started backing away, worried about the fallout. Invitations grew fewer. Dinner tables that once considered her a charming addition suddenly saw her as a liability. Insiders now claim that Fergie often feels abandoned by people she thought were lifelong companions, left out of events, and quietly dropped from circles she once moved through with ease. Even worse, the whispers suggest she's been cut adrift by those who once relied on her for entertainment and insider royal stories, now viewing her more as a burden than a delight. And yet, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, known for supporting underdogs, have reportedly kept some contact with Sarah, admiring her openness and resilience. But even that bond comes with complications, as lining herself with the Sussexes risks further distancing herself from other senior royals. But Sarah Ferguson is not a woman who fades quietly into the background. Even in isolation, she continues to reinvent herself. Her children adore her, and she has been welcomed into their homes, spending time with her grandchildren, Sienna and August, who bring her joy and a sense of purpose. She has written books, launched charitable projects, and worked tirelessly to rebuild her financial stability. Still, despite these bright spots, insiders say there's a sadness behind the scenes, a woman who once thrived in crowds now spending long stretches alone. A woman who once filled rooms with laughter now faces silence. A woman who stayed loyal to those she loved now wonders who, if anyone, remains truly loyal to her. The most painful twist. It's said that as her daughter's roles in the royal world grow more dignified and polished, Fergie feels increasingly aware of how her own past limits her ability to join them publicly. She fears embarrassing them, overshadowing them, or reopening wounds they worked so hard to heal. And so, she quietly steps back, giving them space to shine while she watches from the sidelines, proud. But aching. But through all this, what makes Sarah Ferguson's story so compelling is her unbreakable resilience. She has stumbled, fallen, fought, and risen more times than the public even knows. She has endured humiliation, heartbreak, loss, and betrayal. And yet, she continues to show up, smile, and find gratitude in small things. Today, despite being snubbed by some and isolated by others, she still finds strength in her daughters, in her grandchildren, and in the small but loyal circle of people who never turned their backs on her. She is a survivor in a world that rarely forgives, and her ability to weather storms may be what defines her legacy more than any title or scandal ever could. So, as we close today's episode of Crown Chronicles, ask yourself, is Sarah Ferguson's isolation a punishment for her past? Or a reflection of a royal world that struggles to embrace those who don't fit its mold? Whatever the answer, one thing is clear, Fergie's story is far from over. If you enjoyed this deep dive into royal life, remember to subscribe, like, and share so you never miss the next captivating episode. Stay tuned, because the Crown always has more secrets to reveal.